All right, I am going to have you guys do this as a warm-up just on a sheet of paper. This is gonna help you understand what we're doing today. I would like you to factor these three, and then I would like you to pick up your calculator, and I would like you to do each one separately. Look at your factors and look at the graphs. So this is the warm-up. So what I would like you to do right now is pause the video and do these, and then we'll go from there. Pause and do them. All right, so if I look at the first one, when I factor the first one, that would be x plus 1 and x plus 4, because those are my factors of 4 that add up to 5. So I'm going to go to Desmos, just because I'm on my iPad and I can't use the calculator. So if I put in my original problem, it was x squared plus 5x plus 4. So if I put my original problem in, and then I put in the problem, my factors, you just got x plus 1 and x plus 4. If you notice, they graph right on top of each other. Okay, the other thing I want you to notice is that it hits the axis at a negative, oops, I don't know why I did that. We'll just pretend. It hits the axis at a negative 1, 0. And if I look at this first set of parentheses, x plus 1, it's inside, it would shift it left 1. And this one hits at a negative 4, 0. And if you look at the parentheses, it would be shifted left 4. So those are actually my roots. So if you can take and go from factored form and to look at the graph, you should be able to see your roots. So if I take a glance at the next one, let's just see if this continues working. So on the next one, I'm not going to do this all by grouping because, and sorry, the writing is weird, but I have to keep my iPad at an angle or it stops recording. So my writing is going to be worse than it normally is, and I'm sorry. So I believe you would have gotten for an answer, I'm just gonna, so you have a negative and a positive. So I believe those would have been my two answers. So if I can check it, 2x squared minus 8 plus 1, so it works. Okay, so if I go to Desmos again, I don't know what happened. Probably could start a new one, but that's the fun in that. So it was 2x squared minus 7x minus 4, and that's what it looked like. And then when you factored it, you ended up getting 2x plus 1 and x minus 4. And if you look, those graph right on top. And so if I look at the second set of parentheses, it says x minus 4. And if I look at my graph, it does hit at a positive 4. So it shifted it right 4. And if I look at my other root right here, it's at a negative 0.5, which is a negative 1/2. And if you look, we've talked about you would take the 2 out. I can do it on, let's go back in here. So if I took the 2 out like we did in the last unit, if I took the 2 out and made a double set of parentheses, wouldn't that be x plus 1/2, right? Because your translation cannot be part of it. And so it hit at 1/2, negative 1/2, and at a positive 4. Okay, so let's look at the last one. I think I need an 8. I do. Okay, so if I think about this process, I think before I even graph this, I can tell where it hit. So if it's 2x minus 1, I would set that equal to 0. So I'd have 2x equals 1 divided by 2. So when I graph this in a minute, it's going to hit at 1/2. And if I do 3x minus 4 and I equal it to 0, because I'm looking for the zeros, it'd be 3x equals 4. And my other one is going to be 4/3, which is like 1.3 repeating. So let's graph that, 6x squared. I got to remember it. It's always difficult in my old age. So 6x squared minus 11x plus 4. Okay, and oops, so if I look at this, we got for an answer, I'm going to go back so we can see this, we got 1/2 and 4/3. So if I click on this one right here, the first one, it is 1/2. And if I click on that one, it's 1.3 repeating, which is 4/3. So factoring is kind of a shortcut for finding those roots. Okay, so we're going to jump to QF8 and I apologize for that. But what it wants a quadratic equation in standard form. So let's go back and remember what standard form is. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So it's basically saying it wants no parentheses, but it's giving us roots. So it's giving us roots. We know that it hits at 1/2. Well, we just had one that hit at 1/2. It's right here. 2x minus 1 would make it hit at 1/2. And x minus 5, or it hits at a -5, so it'd be x plus 5. So that is the equation. This is the equation in factored form. So how are we going to go from factored form to get it to standard form? We're going to FOIL. So I would have 2x squared plus 10x plus minus 1x minus 5. So put my like terms together, 2x squared plus 9x minus 5. So that is my answer. Now, if you look at this, you actually can, you can have a million answers for this. I just want to show you this. What if instead of doing 2x minus 1, what if I did x minus 1/2? Okay, I could still, that still hits at 1/2 and at 5, -5. So I FOIL x squared plus 5x minus 1/2 x minus 5 halves. So 5, that's 10 halves minus 1/2. So this would be x squared plus 9 halves x minus 5 halves. And again, I apologize for Desmos, but it's really the only way I can do these problems. So if I put our first answer, it was 2x squared plus 9x. I've already forgotten what the other part was. Plus 9x minus 5. The graph looks like this. Okay, and if I do my other answer, it was x squared plus 9 halves x minus 5 halves. Now, if you look at this, those are not the same graph, but they have the same roots. They hit at 1/2 and they hit at a -5. So honestly, on this question, I just gave you 2 answers, and a million answers would work. I just try to do the purple method because it just, the numbers are easier, but you can put whatever you want in front of it, okay? So just attempt this one. Pause, and along the side or on your scratch sheet of paper, just try this one so you can see kind of what I'm saying. Pause, try it. All right, so if you tried it, you could do it like I did above, the purple way. So if it's 2/3, that means it must have been 3x minus 2, because I would have added the 2 and divided by 3. And if it's -3/5, it must have been 5x plus 3, because if I would minus the 3 and divide by 5. So I would have 15x squared plus 9x minus 10x minus 6. So that's 15x squared minus 1x minus 6. Right? Now, you have a million answers. Instead of doing that, you could actually just go x minus 2/3 and x plus 3/5. So I would have x squared plus 3/5 x minus 2/3 x minus 6/15, right? Because you're just multiplying those. So if I get these with common denominators, it would have to be a 15. So I would times by 3. So this would be a 9. And this, I would need a 15, so I got to times by 5, so 10. So I would have x squared minus 1/15 x. 6/15, 3 would be a -2/5, minus 2/5, okay? I just want to show you how, what I'm saying just one more time, there's a million answers to these. Sorry, I don't know how to clear the graphs. I'm not Desmos genius. I do on the other calculator. 15x squared minus 1 minus 6. 15x squared minus 1x, I don't know, minus 6. That's what that one looked like. Does it hit at 2/3 and a -3/5? Yes, they're just decimals. Now, if I did the other one, it's -1/15 and -2/5. I say 2, I better check. I mess it up. -2/5. Okay, completely different graph. But if you notice, the graphs are different, but they hit the axis at the same place. So you could have a million graphs that hit the axis. Like I could actually turn them all negative 15 x squared plus 1x plus 6. I just changed all the signs. So there's one more version. It's just the green one, but it is hitting at the same place. So you could have a million parabolas that hit at those two places. So I just want any equation that works. All right. So on your homework for tonight, you're going to have to do, and you can check them with your calculator, but I would be very, very careful doing these problems on the calculator because basically this entire section would be no calculator on the test. So please just use your calculator for checking. Okay, I need to factor, but this isn't like a difference of squares because I have an x. So it might help if you write it negative 4x squared plus 12x. Some kids just see it better when the squared comes first. So this one is just a common factoring question. What can I take out of both? I can take out a negative 4x, and that would leave me with an x minus 3, okay? So what you do now is you take both pieces. So I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to set it equal to 0, divide by 4. One of my roots is 0, which means it hits on the origin. And this one I probably could do in my head. I would add 3. My other root is 3. So this is what I mean by checking. I'm saying the answer is 0 and 3. If you're confused on one, maybe I can, guys. I can just hit that x. How easy was that? Take the original problem, 12x minus 4x squared, 12x minus 4, and type it in your calculator just like it says in the textbook, and then see, does it hit at 0 and 3? Just like I said it would, 0 and 3. So I'm totally fine with you using your calculator to check, but if you're using your calculator to get the answer, you're going to struggle because this problem would be on the no calculator part. All right, so if I look at this one, I'm looking for factors of 9 that add up to negative 6. That would be a negative 3 and a negative 3. So that's saying that it's x minus 3 and x minus 3. So if I set this equal to 0, it would hit at 3. If I set this equal to 0, it would hit at 3. So my one answer is 3. So I can again take the original problem and type it in my calculator, x squared minus 6x plus 9. Does it hit at 3? Yes. Is it the only place it hits? Yes. So I must have done it right. Okay. So again, please, please, please do not use your calculator to do the problem, but you can use it to check. Okay. So if I do this one, I'd have y minus 6, y plus 6, because it's difference of squares. So one of my answers is 6, and one of my answers is a negative 6. I am not going to check all of these because I feel like you got the hint, but if you need to check any of them, you can. Okay, so I want you to pause and practice. What's up? Oh, I'm making videos for my tennis kids. No, you're fine. What do you need a picture of?
You.
Why?
You're wearing pink.
Oh, you can take a picture of me making videos. Like, say hi to my tennis kids.
Hi, tennis kids.
Hello. They're doing a problem right now.
They're all like live?
No, I'm doing a video, but I'm not stopping. I'm like 10 minutes in, so they're going to get me talking to you too.
Okay.
Look at you in pink.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Okay. What do I get to do something?
You can smile.
I can smile. Yay. Tell me how terrible it is.
That was good, actually.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Of course. Are you doing Hawaiian tomorrow?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. So if I have factors of 64 that add up to negative 16, it would be x minus 8 and x minus 8. So again, this is one that just has one answer. Okay, so try this one. Pause and try. Okay, so this would be x minus 5 and x plus 3. So my roots would have been at 5 and a negative 3. Sorry, that's a 5. Okay. All right, this one gets a little bit harder, and there is one almost identical to this on the test, and every year kids struggle on it because they refuse to make a table, and it's on the no calculator part. Okay, so this right here is factors of, if you can't do 24 times 5, that would be 20, carry the 2. 20, carry the 2, 10, 120, right? So you're doing factors of 120 that add up to 34. So 1 and 120, 2 and 60, 3 and 40. Okay, I'm getting closer. That's 43. 4 and 30. Oh, there it is. So this is very similar to the one on the test without a calculator. And it's kind of, I mean, like you just start with 1. If it's a big one, just start with 1. So then I would go 5x squared plus 4x, and the order doesn't matter, plus 30x plus 24. So here I can take out an x. That leaves me with a 5x plus 4. Here I can take out a 6. That leaves me with 5x plus 4. And I get 5x plus 4 and x minus plus 6. So one of my roots, I'm going to minus the 4 and divide by 5 is a negative 5/4, and the other is a negative 6. This is a tougher question. So this is a really good example of one you could check with your calculator. So I have 5x squared, I already forgot, plus 34 plus 24. Plus 34x plus 24. So I found the answers were negative 4/5 and a negative 6. So if I go here, negative 4/5, that is a negative 0.8, and I have a negative 6. So those were my two roots. So yes, it was a harder one, but I was able to get it. Okay, so try this one. It is not in your notes, but I want you to pause and try it. Okay, I'm going to do this one by guess and check. So I know I need a 6. I have a 6 and a 4, and I need an 8 and a 3. Well, if I need a 3, then the 6 must be a 3x and a 2x. And if I need an 8, then the 4 must go here and the 1 goes here, because then there's my 3 and there's my 8. I need the 8 negative and this positive. So that means this answer would be add the 4, divide by 3. And this answer would be subtract the 1, divide by 2. And so those are my two roots. Again, this is a tough question. It might be a good one to plug into your calculator. So you have 6x squared minus 5 minus 4. Minus 5x minus 4. So I can check. One of my answers is 1.33. That's 4/3. That's the first one. And the other one is negative 1/2. So my roots are there. They're correct. I must have done it right. Okay. All right. So try that one. Pause and try. So I did the last one by guess. So I'm going to do this one by grouping. So here I can take out a 3s. That leaves with an s minus 4. On the back, I can't take anything out, so you have to take out something, so take out a 1. So that's s minus 4 and 3s plus 1. So one of my roots is 4, and the other is a negative 1/3. So you could check that using your calculator. Okay, so this is an example in your notes because it's red, so it's example 5. It wants you to find the length of the 3 sides giving the right triangle. Okay, so you could sit here and guess and check. And I'm going to tell you, be careful with that because on the test, it's going to be one that's harder. We know something about a right triangle. We know the 2 legs squared are equal to the hypotenuse squared. So if I do that, it would be x squared plus 3x plus 3 squared equals 4x minus 3 squared. So be careful. This is the first time I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about it a million times. You cannot just square both numbers. You need to write it twice and FOIL. So that's 9x squared plus 9x plus 9x plus 9, which on this side would be 10x squared plus 18x plus 9, right? And then on the other side, you're going to write the 4x minus 3 twice, and you're going to FOIL. Okay, some of you are going to be stubborn and be like, why is she doing it the long way? And why can't she just make it 16x squared minus 9? Well, because it's wrong. You have to write it twice and FOIL. So this is 16x squared minus 12x plus 9. So that is 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. Okay, so we are going to learn today, while you're gone, that whenever you have a parabola, a square, you've got to get it everything on one side. So you need to get those on the same side, okay? You need to get the 18x's on the same side. You need to get the constants on the same side. And you need to equal it to 0 like we have up here so that you can find the two roots. So I personally like to keep my x squared positive, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to minus 10x squared, and that gives me 6x squared. I'm going to minus 18x minus 18x, and that gives me a minus 42x. And then I'm going to minus 9 and minus 9, and that gives me 0. Okay, so this is a lot like the one we did at the beginning. You have, I'm going to come up here because I'm losing room. What kind of problem this is. It doesn't have a constant, so you don't need to make a table. You just have to see what you can take out. So one of my answers is 0, but let's look and see if that's an actual solution. Think back to your geometry class. Can you have a side length of 0? Nope, so that's not going to work. My other answer is 7, so you're going to take it and plug it in there. So this side, I'm going to just use a different color so you can see it, would be 7. This side would be 7 times 3, so that's 21. 21 plus 3 is 24. And then this side would be 28 minus 3, which is 25. And if I took my calculator and I did 7 squared plus 24 squared, it's 625. And if I do 25 squared, it's also 625. So did I get the right answer? So it said find the length of the three sides. My three sides would be 24, 7, and 25. Okay? All right. Abigail tosses a coin off a bridge into the stream below, and it gives you the equation. So this is the equation where x represents time in seconds. What is the max height of the coin? How long is it in the air? And how high is the bridge? Now, this is hard to show on Desmos, but because I just have to click on it. But this goes back to what we talked about in class yesterday, where you have to go into menu on your calculator and then go into analyze graph. Okay, and then you're going to pick maximum, minimum, or vertex, or roots. But I am going to use Desmos because I can't get my other calculator to work on filming. So it's negative 16x squared, x squared, I think it was plus 96 plus 112. Plus 96x plus 112. And if you look at that, okay, you can kind of start to see it. You might have to, this is the thing I hate about Desmos, is I cannot, there, so bad. Okay, all right, so it says, what is the max height of the coin? So I would go up here to the max height, and my answer is 3,256. One of those is the height, the other is not. And so if you think about that, I'm going to write it so you guys can see. When I put it into my calculator, I got 3,256. Well, it says right above here that where the x represents time in seconds. So this 3 would be a time in seconds. So what is the height of the coin? 256 feet, because it tells you it's in feet. Okay, how long is the coin in the air before it hits the water? So how long is the coin in the air before it hits the water? Wouldn't the water be down here? And so the coin is in the air for, it says how long, so the coin is in the air for 7 seconds. And then the last thing says how high is the bridge? Well, isn't this thing thrown off the bridge? So that's right there at 112. Now, every year, and I'm sure we'll get into an argument this year, even though you're not here, we get into an argument because that's where the coin left. That's not the height of the bridge. Well, they didn't really give us any information about how tall Abigail is or anything else. So really, if this is what's written, you're going to assume that she threw it from the height of the bridge. Don't overthink it. Just write 112. Okay? Don't make the story problems harder than they are. So this is what we're doing today, Thursday in class. Okay, so this is Thursday's notes.